What do you do? And the thing that scares you most about God is the thing that you also need the most from Him. Thank you for joining us for our series in the book of Jonah, where we'll have an opportunity to take Jonah chapter by chapter. How this class will go is with your group, you will watch a video, and then after that, you'll just have a chance to go through and talk through the chapter with the different discussion questions that are provided. And today we have an opportunity to begin the book of Jonah and really answer that question. What is it exactly that made Jonah run? Because we all know Jonah as a prophet who ran. But he ran for a different reason than maybe some of the other people in the Bible who ran. He's not the only one. Moses, if you remember, didn't want to be a prophet because he didn't think he was up to it. And Elijah ran away because he didn't think there was any point. He thought that they had lost. But Jonah, he's afraid of something entirely different. And in order to understand it, I think you've really got to understand where Jonah's coming from. If you look at the map, you have a chance to see Jonah's birthplace as well as the place where he conducted most of his ministry. It's all in the northern part of Israel. And then if you look at that map of the Assyrians, you have an opportunity to see where the Assyrians did a lot of their invading. And it's not just that Jonah had firsthand experience with the Assyrians, it's the way they fought. They were a brutal, thuggish kind of an enemy. They prided themselves on their violence, on the way that they were masters of psychological warfare. They would take entire groups of people and scatter them to the winds, that they would pile up the severed heads of their victims, incredibly gruesome, incredibly violent. And they had a God complex like no one you've ever met. They were truly terrible, and Jonah knew this firsthand. But now by the time of Jonah, they finally got a break. You see, the Assyrians, they seemed to be suffering in decline at the time. And the Israelites, on the other hand, they had a king. While he was not a good spiritual king, he was a good political king. His name was Jeroboam II. And for the first time in a long time, the people of northern Israel were prosperous, and it was the people of Assyria that seemed to be taking a step back. And then he got that call to go of all places to Nineveh. Jonah wanted nothing to do with it. And if you look at the map behind me, you'll have a chance to see that he did the equivalent of going to the airport and just taking a flight to the farthest possible place away. He was supposed to go to Nineveh, which is 550 miles to the northeast. Instead, he went to Tarshish, which is 2,500 miles to the west, as far away as he could go, because he wanted nothing to do with what God had called him to do. And the question once again is why? What is it he was running from? And the answer is found in the very last chapter of Jonah. It says in Jonah 4, "But to Jonah this seemed very wrong, and he became angry. He prayed to the Lord, 'Isn't this what I said, Lord, when I was still at home? That's why I tried to forestall by fleeing to Tarshish. I knew that you're a gracious and a compassionate God, slow to anger, abounding in love, a God who relents from sending calamity.'" You see, what Jonah was afraid of, the reason Jonah ran, wasn't because he didn't think he was up to the task like Moses. It wasn't because he thought that maybe there was no hope like Elijah. He ran because he was afraid they would listen. Because he knew that if they did listen, then God would forgive them. The thing that he was most afraid of was the thing he needed most from God, God's grace. And that sent him running as far away from God as he could run. As you have an opportunity to take a look at Jonah chapter 1 today, you'll have a chance to consider that, to consider our own prejudices, our own grudges, and the way that at times it's God's grace that is his greatest offense. Lord's blessings on your study.